Hello guys, Steven Dexter. Welcome to this new YouTube episode. Today I'm going to talk about the 200,000 that I made on Thursday on SUNW, and I'm going to generally talk about the overall market and how did it really come back, and also the leading ticker SPI as well, and why I didn't really trade it, and how I'm supposed to look at the market trend after this week. So before I get into the specific tickers, I want to talk about the general mindset behind short sellers and people who are looking for opportunities to catch. And when we're in a boring season, a lot of people want to make money and they think market owes them money as well. So we see the market is being really boring, nothing is really happening, and a lot of people are eager to make a trade. We're right at the transitions right now. If you're impatient and want to make a trade, that's where you are creating opportunity for people who are patient enough to make money from. Overall, you will create this effect that as soon as the opportunity decides to come, they will tend to size a much bigger size. And that type of mentality normally leads to a much bigger volume and much stronger squeeze, which you see on SPI, and pretty much all of the similar energy sectors starts to follow as well, which I majority focused on the sympathy play rather than the major play. So let's dive into the intraday chart and try to figure out which one is more predictable and which one is not predictable at all. So let's look at SUNW and SPI. Both of them went up pretty much 500% or above in one day. SUNW went up over 800%. SPI over was around 4,000 to 5,000%, something really ridiculous. Starting around 1, and let's look at how did it really become these type of large squeezer and how to really find the stock is start to lose its momentum. So first of all, when the stock was gapping up, it was up around 200%. I personally shorted around 380 to 360-ish. And as soon as I saw it's been holding the support twice or third time and decides to come up and break the day high, that's where I start cutting my losses. Overall, I lost very small. I think it was around 20 cents to 30 cents on a $3 stock, so less than 10%. One of the small details we have to notice is when the stock tends to crack its own support, as soon as it cracks, if it doesn't really move at all, that means the stock has the strength in there and it's likely to come back and hold the support and potentially squeeze again. If you notice the very detail here, the support is at 3.32. It cracked it, the 3.32 into 3.30. So cracked about 2 cents, held again, then came back and break the day high. That's where you're supposed to cut your losses. Whenever you see a gap up short and it's trending down and didn't really lose too much percentage compared to the entire gain in the morning, normally about 15 to 10% pullback and come back and break the day high. That's something you have to be really careful because as soon as you're sizing in, you're not really focused on any type of pattern because as soon as it breaks its day high, it does not count as a gap up short anymore. So in this case, I didn't really trade after 10:15. Took a long break. I was still watching because the stock is trading way too much volume compared to normal. Normally, stock trade around 30 to 50 million shares is considered really crowded, but for SPI, it traded about 120 million shares in the first hour alone. And that's something you have to put in back of your head to really think about how much volume you can trade it throughout the entire day. Normally 30 to 50 million volume trade in the first hour, likely trade about 150 million to 200 million a day. So once you notice that SPI was trading 120 million shares in the first hour or two, you kind of have to stop placing orders because when the stock is reaching maximum volume in one day, that's where stock becomes extremely unpredictable. It's likely to produce some type of squeeze like this. Start spiking around 10 and went all the way almost to 50. And that's where discipline comes from because if a pattern doesn't work, you have to cut your losses. If you just stare at it and wish it to come back, and if it doesn't happen, then it's likely to blow your account. So SPI, I took a loss in the early 30 minutes, but after that, didn't really trade at all, waited until the next day, and I was looking for the major resistance on yesterday intraday chart. So the first bounce went from 19 to 30. I was using 30 as my guide to short into, but I was hoping that it could perform like KODK, form a 30 to 35 consolidations for me to really find and get my risk really tight, so I was be able to get a decent amount of risk reward. But in this case, SPI didn't really give the opportunity. It just faded through the entire day and didn't really give any type of bounce for potential entry, because if it can only drop to about 12 to 13, which I was using yesterday's low as a guide as well, and you are shorting around 22 to 23, there's much more risk compared to reward, so that's not very ideal. I was waiting until next day. SUNW decides to spike again, so this one was much easier to predict because I have some type of resistance in the pre-market for me to look up to. For SPI, I have resistance in pre-market, but it didn't really give me the chance to enter. So SUNW, I have a guide around 8.5 and $8-ish, and I was waiting for stock to come up and test the $7 and $8 area for me to find a resistance for me to short into. Now, there's some mistakes that I made in the early 30 minutes because I was trying to short into, I think it was around the high 6 to 7, and I cut my losses because I don't really know where it's going to top. And I tried that about 2 times. I was getting a little frustrated because it's likely to break through this 850 around 1015-ish. It looked really strong on the level 2 area. I patiently waited until the stock formed its own resistance at 8.5-ish and shorted around 7 and held for the entire day. Didn't really hold overnight because borrow was kind of too expensive. Made about, I think it's around 30% to 40% on my trade. Overall, it's around 200,000 gain. I think I should hold overnight because as soon as it hit the $4 area, fading from 8.5 to 4, the stock is still up around 200%. So there's still plenty of reward for me to get. Personally, I don't really like holding overnight. And also, you know, the borrow fee can potentially stack up if the overnight fee was times 7 or times 5. And that's some type of cost you kind of have to take in considerations. Overall, I didn't really catch majority of the move. I only caught about SUNW. Normally in a really heavy crowded stocks, it's really difficult to make money in that specific day, especially on the first day when the hype started to happen. And that's where everybody wants to get in, and you're basically waiting for the first wave of people making their mistakes, and you can clearly see their mistakes to take advantage from their mistakes. And that's one of the fundamentals you kind of have to follow when you are trying to become a consistent, profitable trader, and that's very important. So that will be all my thoughts on my 200,000 gain for this week. I think I only placed about 2 to 3 trades on the same ticker. Didn't really trade anything else. Not very ideal. Didn't really give me the ideal criteria. So hopefully you guys have been stay disciplined, and this recap should help you learn about how to really treat a boring season, how to really transition from boring season into a hotter season. And that will be the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.